Hi there, everyone. Laurie Baracco here, and I see I have a few friends who are waiting in the queue, so I'm going to wait for everyone to receive the notification that I'm live, and then I will begin this segment of candle magic, excuse me. Alrighty, so I see we've got Daphne. Hi, Daphne. How are you? Good morning. I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited as well. If you're tuned in, please pop in, say hello, and let me know where you're tuning in from. In the meantime, I'm going to smudge, which is a sacred ritual of cleansing the area, and I highly suggest that whenever working with spirit, that we take a moment to clear ourselves, to align ourselves so that we can receive clear messages and we prepare our minds, our bodies, our spirits. Hi there, Karen. Hello there. Oh, we've got baby. Hi there, baby. Good morning. Good morning, Margie from Ocean City. Hi, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. So I've got my smudge going. So let's take a moment. Breathe in the sacred smoke, allowing it to cleanse our minds, our bodies, our spirits. And we call upon the light, we call upon our guides, our ancestors, our wisdom council, the ascended masters, the angelic realm, all the loving beings that work with us to assist us today as we connect through the realms, through the etheric realms, through the World Wide Web, connecting our souls, consciousnesses. And it's really cool because I'm seeing these beautiful circles of energy that are overlapping, almost like magical circles that we each have created to connect. And as we are in our own channels of our higher selves and energy, and as we do that, we align ourselves with inspiration and potentials and allow ourselves to receive downloads of wisdom and guidance that is anchored, that becomes anchored in our auric field. All righty, and so it is. All right, so let's see, we've got Athena, good morning from Colorado. Hello, Raylyn. Sandy from Fort Myers, Florida. Hello, Jackie from Riverview. And baby Moon Orchid. Hello there, Moon Orchid. And hello, Barb. Good morning. And Angie P is in Illinois. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so this is one of my most favorite subjects, and that is candle magic. I love working with candles. So I'm going to go back and forth and read some of my notes, go from my notes, and feel free to type any questions that you may have in the comment area, in the chat area. And if you're watching afterwards, I hope you receive some really good tips and insight and inspiration to take your candle magic to the next level. Next level candle magic, we'll call it. Alrighty, so we're going to be using candles with intention. So for myself, I light a candle every day, and candles light the way for us. They burn away negativity, and also spirit, our guides, our higher selves, our soul energies are attracted to the flame like a magnet. You can use candles for enhancing your prayers and your intentions, with the smoke and the flame igniting those intentions and sending them out into the universe. It's like getting that spark started, right? Like they're giving me the image of dynamite, right? So here we have the fuse over here with our intention. We light it, and if there's a process that fuse needs to go through, poof, to make the magic happen, right? So it's like we're building we light the fuse, the fuse burns, it does different things in our life, and it helps, right? The manifestation process, and I'll go over that, and it takes the fuse to the candle, and then we build this cone of energy, and we send it off into the universe. So that's one analogy of how, the process works, just a kind of an example. I do see comments. Angie asks, how many candles do you need? I don't know. That depends, right? Everybody, some people stockpile their candles too. I will say this, the line that we sell here through the store, the Coventry candles, though, and through the store, in store, in the brick and mortar stores and online, those candles are in high demand. And they're really expensive right now. Also, the process between COVID and everything, the process of pouring them during certain phases of the moon, and with their people power, so they've kind of downsized because of the virus, and the shipping department, right? Things are taking a little bit longer to get out there. It takes a little while, so those candles are in high demand, and yes, they're powerful candles. However, you can create your own candles with your own oomph, with your intention, and it doesn't make that candle less powerful or not as magical. Okay, so let's get into this. All righty. So I prefer to work with my intentions, and people will often ask me to work a little magic for them. And I'm always careful to be sure not to cross free will boundaries, and to make sure that the intention, my intention, or if I'm doing some candle magic for someone else, making sure that intention is in alignment with the universal laws of morality and ethics and integrity. Never, ever, ever add someone else to your magic without permission, right? So that means, say if you'd like some love to come your way, or you want to rekindle with someone, a relationship, you really shouldn't put anybody's name on a candle or within your intention. You can send healing to others, but you definitely want to set that intention into motion for the highest and best good, and if they are accepting of this, right? So with distance Reiki, we often do that. We go into the realms and we ask their soul if it's appropriate, if they're open for this healing. If they're not, may the healing energies be transmitted or received by someone who is asking for a miracle, who is praying for a miracle on their path. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, we hear it quite a bit that someone will come into the storefront and they'll ask for a candle to save their relationship. So what I encourage people to do is, yes, attraction candle or something to help bring in healing, but I would encourage people to write with the intention that you ask for healing in your romantic relationships for the highest and best good of all, or asking that you're in alignment with the partner that is for your highest and best good, right? Can you imagine if you found someone yearning on a spell with magical intentions? Can you imagine? Wouldn't you be kind of mad, right? Be like, what? Someone's trying to do magic against me, or without my knowledge and without my permission. And that is, that does happen, right? And some people do it because they think that they're helping someone. They think that it's for someone's highest and best good. And it is crossing a fine line, right? We don't always know someone's path, right? And sometimes we want karma to do its thing. We want to help karma with justice. That's also another no, ethical no. And that might be something that I do an event with as well, right? Ethics, spiritual ethics, the do's and the don'ts. I'm just going to read the comments a little bit. Yep. And it does make sense. We don't know the whole situation. And maybe by putting somebody's name or thinking about someone with your intention, maybe you're limiting your possibilities, and your guides are saying, what the heck is she doing again? Why does she want this over here when over here, if she was using the intention to be in alignment with someone, this whole big, wonderful, beautiful, juicy package over here would be all hers. She would be able to achieve that if she didn't limit her outcome. So sometimes by focusing on one thing, we are limiting our outcome. And that's a whole art in itself, is writing your intentions and your magical spells and so on and so forth. That's a whole other intentional ball game here. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But always be mindful of the things you write down and ask assistance with the things that you speak and the things you think. All of those three things, they all go into manifestation. They are manifestation elements and tools. Yeah. Yep, all of the operating components of the universe. That's right. All right. Don't forget that a little candle magic does not take, and I say little, candle magic does not take the place of being proactive in your life and taking the initiative to change your life where you know you are not happy or meeting your full potential, right? So working with a certain type of candle is not going to fix it. It's not going to fix anything. There usually are some steps for us to take, some belief systems to shift, in order for us to be recalibrated and in alignment with our intention, right? So what does the candle magic do? It helps us formulate with focus what we do want in our life. And sometimes we want to phase things out, right? So using candles are not just about bringing things in. Sometimes we want to help phase out and ask Spirit to help us clear certain karmas that maybe we have created, to help us with completion of certain scenarios and chapters that we're ready to move on from. So focused intention and working with a candle can help you with ceremony, help you to be in alignment. You are asking for yourself to be in alignment with change. And so you're activating that change by setting that intention out there, right? That is the truth. With your intention, you are setting all of that out there. I'm just going to check in on some of my comments. Hello. Yes, the Fort Myers store is open, Karen. So both stores are back open to their regular operating hours, FYI, everyone. And also the online store, you can order at any time. And this weekend until Monday midnight, all candles are 11% off. Okay. Yeah. So I see more people have joined in. Hello, welcome. If you're just tuning in, pop in and say hello in the chat area and let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to see where we're connecting. I love to see that. All right. So there are different types of candles, right? Different types of candles. And I'm also going to go into some of my favorite candle tips. So I'm going to give you a little bit more of the condensed version, and I will share this, my notes here through my blog. So what I'll do is afterwards, I'll put a link in with this event to help you material so you don't have to write it all down. So there will be some written material for you. So there are different types of candles. There are tons of candles out there. There are tea light candles, mini candles that are called chime candles. There are pillar candles. There are votives. There are also jar candles. There are figure candles. They all bring in variety and add a little extra oomph and a little pizzazz and dazzle. You can bedazzle your candle magic. However, do you need to have a figure candle like there's one that's say like a Ganesh candle with the shape of a the shape of a Ganesh. No, you don't, but it can add a little bit of extra oomph, and it's kind of fun to work with candles that have different figures. I don't carry them in the store right now, but if you're able to do that, hey, why not? But you can do tons of powerful magic. You can work powerful magic with just a chime candle, a tea light. One really cool class that we did have that Paulette McDaniel taught at the Fort Myers store was working with tea lights and having different herbs and oils and taking different colored candles and melting the wax and sealing all that good energy into the tea lights to create magical blends. That was a lot of fun too. So you can get really creative. I can almost see and hear everybody going, oh wow, there's so much more to this that you can do. I see a question from Daphne. Do I fix or dress candles? Yes. Do the candles have any artificial fragrance in them? Some do. Some have what I would say are more of energetic oils, which may be more of synthetic. Now, some people use those oils like these because they're not as high cost. They're not as expensive. Like this is a Come To Me oil. So this is more of one of those perfume or synthetic oils. It does not have the higher, greater quality oil of, say, like my Star Child. Sorry, my light is flashing on you. My Star Child oil. Can you see that? We carry these in the stores, well, mainly the Bonita store, and online in our online store. Those have a higher quality grade, and I know some people are sensitive to more of the synthetic perfumey oils. It may bother their lungs, or just the aroma may give them a headache. If you're one of those people, you probably will want to use a higher grade oil, which I would say more either organic oil or what's healing grade. I can't think of the term. It's a healing grade. Not it'll come to me. Anyway, therapeutic grade. It's a therapeutic grade. So the Ziavana ones we have at both stores is a therapeutic grade. So is doTERRA and Young Living. And there are tons of other companies that make higher grade oils. And Angie says chime candles interest me. And so, yeah, there's so much more with this. And Daphne said that she needs to make her own candles for that reason. Yeah, some people are very sensitive. And I think that that's important to pay attention to that, because who needs a headache, right? How effective are you if every time you light your candle, you're like, that's not fun. Anyway, so back to the notes. So candles are very versatile. You can use different colors, as well as adding an oil or an herb to add extra oomph. You can also write your intentions on your candles as well. And also here I have listed are the different candle colors, just for example, right? You can use a red candle if you want to work with the areas of passion, physical love, family matters, root chakra. So that's a great candle tonight that Pam's hosting the Reiki circle tonight, and it's the root chakra. So a good candle to coincide with that would be a red candle. Any type of candle. Red is root, foundation. Blue candles are communication. They're also known to connect you with the moon, peace, channeling, speaking your truth, and it's the throat chakra. Green candles are healing, abundance, and heart chakra. Black candles are protection, absorption of negativity, and the root chakra as well. White candles are protection, purity, peace, connecting to spirit, and the crown chakra. Pink candles are self-love, romance, and heart chakra. Purple candles are intuition, spiritual growth, third eye chakra. Brown, grounding, physical property, pet healing, and root chakra. And also like even working with plants too. Orange is strength, success, healing for intimacy, creativity, the sacral chakra. Yellow is communication, cheerfulness, bright, sunny outlook, assisting with willpower, solar plexus chakra, inner child healing. Gold is wealth, the sun, royalty, masculine energy. And silver is inner growth, beauty, art, the moon, and feminine energy. Then there also are candles that have two different colors in them. Some of them are for reversing candles. They may have one half is one color, another half is the other color. Then there are others that are double dipped, that there's one color on the inside, and then the outer layer has another color as well. So there's a question from Sassy Geo Girl. Do you put a drop of oil in the flame? You can, but I'm going to show you what else you can do in just a little bit. There's something else you can do as well. You can anoint your candle with the oil. So because you kind of want to be careful just dropping an oil on the flame, because you never know. It could be very flammable, and especially if it's a synthetic oil, you might have a bonfire going, and most people like their eyebrows and their bangs and their eyelashes, right? You never know what can happen, right? That can happen. And I have seen candles burst, like the jar candles that have the pull out. There are some candles that have different colored sleeves. They're called pull-out candles, and it has the long glass jar, and then you put the color that you want on the inside after you have blessed and dressed it. I'll go into that as well. So the other things you can do with your candles, or you can read the wax. You can read the wax as it's burning. If there are a lot of drips, candle wax drips, you may need to work on your intention. That's also known as messy. It's a little bit messy. So as you're burning your candle, you take a look, and as you look into the flame, there might be a message. There might be a picture. You might see a figure. Might be able to scry into the flame, and then look at the wax. I've seen wax as it's dripping leave pictures. So these are the things I've seen. Really cool. I've seen wax drip creating different pictures, different letters have shown up. And then at the end, right, as I've noticed this, I'm receiving the message of what's coming through. And then at the end, the wax completely burned. So that's possible too. And sometimes there's wax left over, and then you can see different messages within the wax, the leftover wax. I see a comment from Angie. Mason jars retain heat well. Yes, they do. Of course, I always encourage people to make sure that you're watching your candle. I mean, you don't have to stare at it, but if you're working with intentional candle or any type of candle, you want to make sure that it's away from any children or drafts, or it's not in a high traffic area where someone can bump it, right? So every once in a while, I'll check on it. Usually if I'm working in the storefront, I'll have a candle going out front by me, or one on the altar. In Fort Myers, the altar's in the back. So I make sure I keep it up. I peek my head around to make sure that the candle's doing okay. There are people who will let that candle burn, like a larger candle that maybe say a 50 or 60 hour candle. And some people have what they feel comfortable with is a safe place to put that candle when they leave. I never leave candles unattended, but I have heard of people who will maybe put it in a tub or put it in their own little fire pit thing. I have seen a lot happen with candles, so I encourage people to not leave their candles unattended. And I know I've also heard people say, well, you don't want to burn that out. You don't want to blow it out. You don't want to blow out the flame of your candle. It's going to mess up your magic. I'm just going to tell you that I have blown out my candles or snuffed them out, and my intentions manifested beautifully. And I know this is part in my notes, so I think it's a little bit later. But what I'm going to say, though, is that if you're working with intentional candle magic, you want to make sure that after lighting that candle, that candle is going for at least 2 hours. Within 2 hours, you're going to create a lot of momentum, and it gets that vortex of energy to build and build and build. So if I had an intentional candle, I only had 20 minutes, I wouldn't light it. I'd wait till I had more time to let it go. If you're home all day and you don't have to snuff it out, that's great too. But I have snuffed out my candles, and the results were still fabulous. So I really believe people shouldn't leave their candles unattended. I just see a comment from Daphne. Are there certain herbs that can't be added to the wax? Not that I know offhand, but there are certain blends, like resins and blends, that I wouldn't add to my candle magic, like sulfur. I'm going to encourage you to do your research. It's almost like I don't even want to give people ideas just in case, but I wouldn't add anything that was highly flammable. And you don't want to go crazy with adding herbs to your candles, because herbs can get warm, and that they can. I have seen people that have gone a little bit overboard with the oil and the herb, and the glass burst because it just got too hot because of the herbs were heated as well. And then maybe they had used a synthetic candle oil as well. So see the comment, it makes the wax rise too and put the candle out. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. So other things you could do while your candle is burning is to pay attention to how it burns. If this is with the scrying part, of reading the messages of what spirit is trying to show you through your candle. If it may burn to the right with the wax or the flame, there may be some male influences with the situation, or that you need to be a little bit more proactive and a little bit more take charge, assertive. If it burns a little bit to the left, there could be a female influence, or you may need to be more receptive or listen to your intuition a little bit more. If it burns towards the back, there may be something from the past, or if your flame is burning going backwards a little bit that way, and if it's dripping wax in the back of your candle, that might mean something from your past is still kind of in place, and you might need to kind of address that. If the wax is forward, it might mean, okay, that I need to I might need to adjust some things. And if it's very messy where there's a lot of drippage, maybe I need to address some things and maybe clean up some areas and rethink my intention, because it looks like it might be a little messy moving forward, right? Also, I love to document my observations too. I'm gonna have a little journal to just check out my candle, to see what my candle shared with me, and then maybe go back and reread it. It's always interesting to see how it all unfolds. You can also work with the phases of the moon. So new moon magic is from the day of the new moon to 3.5 days after. The new moon is for starting new ventures, new beginnings, also love and romance, health, or job hunting. The waxing moon is 7 to 14 days after the new moon, and the waxing moon is for constructive magic such as love, wealth, success, courage, friendship, love, luck, and health. The full moon is 14 to 7.5 days after the new moon. It's a prime time for rituals for prophecy, protection, and divination. Any working that needs extra power, such as helping find a new job or for healing for severe conditions, that's a favorable time to do that now, then. Also, love for knowledge, legal undertakings, money, and dreams. So waxing is a building up. It's we're wanting to bring into our life. Then waning is taking away, releasing. It's 3.5 to 10 days after the full moon. So we're pretty much, well, we're just about in the waning phase. The waning moon is a good time for banishing magic, for ridding oneself of addictions, illness, negativity, situations that we feel complete with. The dark moon magic is 10.5 to 14 days after the full moon. The dark moon is a time for ridding oneself of bad habits, binding spells, exploring our darkest recesses, and to understand our anger and passions. It's also bringing justice to bear. So you could definitely use the phase of the moon as an extra element, an energy with your magic. Kind of touched upon this before. So is it the candle that possesses the magic? And you can decide that. It may be that you give your power or energy to the candle, and it may be also agreed upon a concept that they work in a certain way, like your belief system, and we as a collective make it so. When we add herbs or oil and write our intention on our candle, that is known as dressing and blessing. So if you wanted to work, here's a 21-day new moon magic. What you would need is 21 tea lights and your intention. And on the new moon, you light the first tea light and charge it up and allow it to burn out completely. And then you would work with that same intention for the next 21 days. And I know there are many courses and beliefs and programs that work with 21 days. They say it takes 21 days to change a belief, change a habit, to have something concrete in your life. And so if you're working with that same intention as you light your candle for 21 days, you're creating a vortex of energy around you and within you. How's everybody doing so far? Everybody okay so far? Hanging in there? Hopefully you're becoming inspired a little bit. All right, so I'm going to share some of my favorite candle activities. So when I recognize that one of my chakras is out of balance, it's like that chakra's out of balance. I often will burn the corresponding color of the chakra that needs TLC. So as I shared before, the root is a red candle, sacral orange, solar plexus yellow, heart is green or pink, the throat, blue, third eye indigo, crown is white or gold. So I may select a candle with color, and if you don't have the exact color, you can work with white. White is pretty much versatile for everything. But so I balance my chakras with working with the different colored candles, and I might write my intention that I ask Spirit to help me cleanse, clear, and balance, say, my root chakra, and I may light a red candle to help go with that. So I do love anointing my candles with oil to add a little extra oomph. And so the type of oil I use depends on my intention. So for peace, I might work with lavender oil and an herb. Cinnamon might be for money. And you can research the different oils to see which one works best with your intention. You can work with different blends. So I'm going to jump ahead to this part here. So first of all, with the Coventry votives and candles, they already have oils in here and they have herbs as well. And they are poured when the phase of the moon is perfect for that intention. So say here I have my candle and I wanted to embrace or enhance my connection with spirit. So I might take a white candle. Let's see here. I might work with this Star Child oil, which is meditation. And I might have a few herbs that I put together. This right here is the Star Child blend of, I'm not even sure what this is. I grab it off my shelf here. Shaman. Okay, so this is a blend that has different herbs in it and resins as well. So what I'll do is I will create the sacred space where I want to get all my supplies and bless and dress my candle. So I'll smudge my space. I'll work in a space that I have my own privacy. I'll put on some music. I'll light a white candle and maybe have incense going and have all the things done. And have all my supplies here, and I'll probably smudge my supplies, such as my paper for my intention, my candles, my writing tool to write on my candle, my toothpick or my pad, and I've set the space. I've called in my guides. I'll light my altar. I have all the things together, right? So then my intention is to open up my crown to connect with spirit more so. So as I have my supplies, I probably will have written down my intention on a piece of paper. I am Laurie Baracco, and I'll put my birth date, and I'll write after that, it is my intention to connect with spirit and to meet my potential in doing so as I open my crown chakra. And so I'll have a piece of paper, a nice piece of paper, not a scrap paper, and I'll write that intention. And then I will take my candle. And so since I'm working with the meditation oil, what I'll do is I will think about my intention. I take a little bit on my finger and I go halfway on my candle, and I go down the other half of my candle. And I know that there are certain teachings that say there's a certain way of anointing your candle, whether it's from top to bottom to the middle. Some will say go from the middle up and then the bottom down. If you want to get technical, you can research that yourself and work with it that way. Right, so I didn't put too much oil on this candle. Okay, so it has some oil. Smells great, smells fabulous. I love this oil. And then what I'll do is I will have on a surface my herbs, and not too many. And so what I'll do then, do it this way. I'll take a little bit of my herb and I'll put it on. One day I'll get really fancy and have the camera on here. So this blend has more resin that are larger pieces of it. So what you'll see is, though, I do have some of the herbs on my candle. So let me see. Can you see? There you go. Some of the herbs are on my candle. So there you go. There, I've got that. I probably just did this backwards now that I'm thinking about it. Before I would put my oil on my candle, I would take a writing utensil like a pencil, a toothpick, and they have inscribing tools as well. And I will write my intention on my candle. And usually I skip that step. Sorry. So after writing your intention on your paper, you want to write it on your candle to bring extra oomph. So you could do it for one of these. You could do it for one of these. You could do it for a large pillar. You could do it for one of those jar candles that has the pull out candle on it as well. And then I'll put my oil on it, and then I'll put my herb on it, and then it's ready. So then I do that. Right? Oh, I just pushed it too hard. So then it's in my holder, and then I put it on top of my intention. So that is a way of dressing and blessing. Some people might add a little bit of glitter into their magic to give a little extra zhuzh, little bedazzles, candle magic with some bedazzling. So you can do that as well. So then this candle is ready to go. And so what I would do is I would make sure that I light it in my sacred place, and I would make sure that I have enough time, at least 2 hours before I light it, to work with that intention. So then what usually will take place is that there will be certain scenarios that may pop up where I'm not trusting my intuition, and spirit will help me to recalibrate myself to be in alignment to receive guidance and from my crown chakra to open up even more so. Okay, I hope that kind of inspired you a little. See, Daphne has to go. Catch you later, Daphne. All right, but you can use different herbs and corresponding oils to help enhance and activate that magic. It's kind of fun. All right, so my next tip is when I feel the need to clear energy in my home, office, or personal space, I'll burn a black candle to remove and absorb the negative influences, and then I burn a white one at the same time to bring in light and blessings. Black is a neutral color, and it helps absorb the environment. So if you want to help just give it a good cleansing and you help balance it out, right? So polarities definitely help shift the energy as well. Because we need both. We do need both. How can you know something's a blessing if you haven't had the opposite, right? That's just the human experience. So I touched upon this earlier. I love to inscribe my candles with either a toothpick, pencil, or engraving tool with my intention to bring in more of a personal touch to my magic. You can even just draw a symbol. Say if you are working on your heart chakra and healing the past hurts from the past, you can draw a heart on your candle too. I also use the phases of the moon to help me either bring in or take away energy, bring in energy or take away energy. So as I mentioned earlier, during the time of the full moon to the new moon, we are taking away energy. From the new moon to the full moon, which we're building up, we are bringing in energy. I always make a point of keeping track of how long it takes to burn my candle. I will then use the timing to determine how long it may take to manifest my intention. For example, if it took 3 hours to burn, then it means my results may take another 3 days to 3 weeks or 3 months to manifest in the physical. That's why it's great to have that journal there. Oh, this candle took 5 hours. And you know what? Some candles take longer to burn than others, and it depends on the intention. It depends on the intention. So that's kind of a cool way of doing that. And, with everything, it's best to give yourself a little leeway to not just say, okay, that's it. It's 3. 3 is the answer, right? It's 3 hours or 3 weeks or 3 days, and it didn't happen in 4 or happen in 2. Well, there's a lot that can happen with our free will choices. I often use the flame as a divination tool by scrying into the flame and allowing the candle wax and the flame to speak to me, guide me, and teach me. I always read the wax during and after the candle has burned. You'll often find that there are pictures, symbols, or initials in the wax, and I touched upon that earlier. It's really cool to use the candle as a divining tool. It's going to tell you. You might receive some messages as you work with the flame. You gently gaze into the flame, and you might receive some messages as well. That's also why it's really helpful to have a journal nearby to write down your experience. So when working in ceremony, I will use 5 different candles to represent the 5 elements and directions. So, say if I'm hosting a releasing ceremony, I'll work with the 5 directions with 5 different candles to represent and hold the space and acknowledge and honor those directions. Yellow is in the east for air, red in the south for fire, blue in the west with water, green in the north with earth, and white in the center for spirit. And when you do this, the energy in the center is just really beautiful and powerful. I'm going to encourage you to give it a try. You can even do that with your meditations too. Why not? I infuse my Reiki energy into every candle that I use, and I add the Reiki symbols to my candles, which adds that extra oomph to them. If you have not received the Reiki 2 attunement, any power symbol will work, such as the Ankh or Star of David, pentagram, or even a heart can help enhance your magic. You could draw geometries. Some people have the grids or the little mats that have different geometrical patterns on them. Yeah, that sounds right. With the different sacred geometries on them, and that can help enhance and activate your candle magic and your intention. I also will invoke some non-physical helpers such as archangels, masters of light, or ancient deities such as Isis or Lakshmi to help bring in the energy to assist with my magic. And there are many resources that you can refer to help you coordinate the proper colors, aromas, and herbs to help align you with the energy of the light being you would like to work with. Sometimes I might even pull a card and put that card on my altar with my candle to help guide me or to ask who's with me and who should I call upon for energetic assistance with my candle. So after your candle has burned and you're finished with it, I encourage you to take a look at the wax. Are there pictures, symbols, messages in the wax? And then what you can do, if you're working with a powerful intention, is that you take that wax and carry it with you. You carry it in like a little baggie and keep it in your auric field for 21 days. And you're again anchoring in that energy. And then afterwards you can not burn it, excuse me. You can bury it, or you can release it in a ceremonious way if you would like. There was something else I was going to mention with my candles. Oh yeah. So I encourage people to not work with too many intentions at once, because the beauty of the candle magic is that it's helping us to recalibrate where we are to be in alignment with our intention, right? And what's most important is that we understand why these things happen, right? Why did that scenario come up with that person? Why did I have that hiccup? Oh, that's connected because my belief system and what I was doing was not conducive to that intention. I get it now. So there are many people who will talk and teach about manifestations and tell you to just believe it, and then it is. Well, your belief system has a huge part in your reality. However, there are certain karmic patterns and areas and soul assignment lessons that the soul wants to experience. Therefore, you can hold that vision and that belief system for as long as you want. However, there usually is some type of action, shift, change that is necessary to be proactive. Belief system does not, like poof, take the place of being proactive in your life and taking responsibility and understanding why certain things have not manifested in that way. That's part of the healing process. I wish it wasn't that way, because sometimes it's like we got to take the long, painful way around it to be in alignment. And sometimes, even though we could see it, feel it, it may not happen as quickly or as soon as we would like. So some things take a bit longer. And some things, Spirit's saying, that's not for your highest and best good. You can ask all you want for that. But we're just telling you, this is over here. And you're settling over here for this because that's all you know and that's your reference point. We're telling you, we're going to help you raise your consciousness and your awareness and place you in an alignment over here for something that is going to be so much so much more beneficial for you on your path and in alignment with what your path has, with what your soul has mapped out for yourself. Hope that makes some sense. Oh, so back to the point of trying to not work on everything at once. So a lot of people buy the Coventry candles here 3 at a time. And I encourage them. They'll say, okay, so can I burn them all at once? I say if you're working with one intention, right? So sometimes they may want to work with shifting energy. So they may want 3 candles. So I'll suggest a Ganesh to help clear the obstacles, Lakshmi to bring in that success, and then a stability candle to ground it in. That's different than picking a candle for love, healing, and abundance and lighting them all at once. Then a lot's probably going to be happening at once, and you may not be able to apply what happened where and why, right, in what area. So you might be inviting a lot of chaos into your life. Okay? All right. So I did want to pause a little bit to see if anyone had any questions. I see we have quite a few people who are still with me here. I didn't lose any of you, did I? You haven't fallen asleep yet, have you? So I'm going to give you a moment to ask any questions, or has anything popped up for you, or comments? And I just briefly touched upon the things that you can do with your candles. It's just a little smidge, right? So you don't have to have a big to-do when working with your candles. It could be as simple as having a tea light and taking a moment to be grateful for all of your blessings and acknowledging the blessings that have come from the light, and lighting your candle then. Lighting your altar candle, taking a moment to center yourself and acknowledge spirit and that focal point that is your altar, right? It doesn't have to be elaborate. But every once in a while, I'm so drawn to work with a certain intention, or I'll hear spirit say, yeah, it's time for some magic. So then I'll go and see what I have available and just kind of think about what is it that I feel like I need right now? What is on the forefront of my journey right now? I do have a handout, Sassy. I will post it in this event, and there'll be a link for this. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Margie. So the great question, Jackie, is it okay to put the name on a candle if you're seeking protection from that person? I wouldn't put a name on there. I would work with a candle for protection and calling in your guides and calling in the light to assist you with creating a field of protection around you from anyone who may not have the best of intentions. That's what I would do. I also would probably do some cord cuttings, and I would ask spirit also to help me with completing the karma in a manner that's for the highest and best good of both of us. But I would ask for protection from all people, those who may not have the best of intentions. And you're welcome. And you're welcome. All right. Any other questions? I know you've got more. I know more are coming. Trying to see if there's anything I missed. So these little oils that we have at the store, they have different intentions, and I'm amazed at how well they sell. Like this Come to Me oil, it may not just be for love. This is an attraction oil. So there are different all-purpose oils, or they may say all-purpose. Then there are oils that are attraction. Then there are some that are road openers, abre caminos. Then there are ones that for abundance, lucky hand, some to help with justice. And I didn't even put this in my notes too. You can work with the different days of the week with your candle magic. Every day has a different vibration, right? So Thursday is Jupiter. Thursday is the day of abundance. And it's also, I believe, the day for justice to be served. So you can take a look at that too. And say if you're wanting to work with healing, you might work with Archangel Raphael in his day of the week. There's so many different correspondences you can work with as well. Like I said, Ascended Masters. others. You could work with different tarot cards with the different energies and influences of those as well. You're welcome. You're welcome. Give everybody a little bit more time to see if anything else is emerging. Oh, you've got a yoga session. All right, Karen. Well, I'm almost wrapping up here. I'm just about done. So you caught most of it. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. So in the meantime, I did hear from Spirit. I heard the message from Spirit, a little nudge to just pull, yep, there it goes, to pull a card, although 2 flew out, for a message for those who are tuning in. And this is going to be a timeless message. This is a message that you needed to hear at this time, whenever you're tuning in. Okay, so some very strong energies popped up. So we have the Chariot, and then we have this Queen of Swords. So the message I'm getting for all of those who have tuned in is for us to use the situations that have been really challenging as superpowers. Use them as leverage for understanding what happened, why it happened, and how you can shift your future reality from these things not happening again. So there is some balance that is trying to come into our lives. And I think that sometimes that we go back to the wounding and the trigger, and it takes us, like, here's the situation, it's repeating itself, it pops up again, and then we interact with it, or we view it from the wounded space, and that's not healing, right? It's like we just went backwards. So Spirit wants us to take the past situations, hover above the emotion and the trigger, and use your intelligence, use your analytical skills, your sense of reasoning to shift your reality using forward. Use it as a superpower to not have to have that experience again, right? Sometimes, right, situations pop up and then another situation is very similar feel or look or taste to it. We're like, and then you get triggered. It's like, I'm not going down that path again. And then you go into all the emotions and it's all rehashed. And it's like a memory, regurgitation. And we don't need to do that every time, because then we're opening up the wound and then we're empowering it. Let's take it from a different point of view and use it for our benefit to move forward and to grow. Alrighty, everybody. I hope that today's event gave you a little bit of insight, some tips, some inspiration to use your focus with your candle magic to help empower you, to help you heal, and help you be in alignment with your path, and to see things more clearly, and to have a little bit of fun, a little woo-woo magical fun. All right, everybody, I'm Laurie Baracco, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Namaste. Bye, everybody.